Hey everybody, welcome to the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. This is my second video that I'm putting up here. Hopefully you checked out the first one. This is something I'm going to hopefully keep on doing. This video is a little different than my first one. And I'm going to keep learning and trying different things and hopefully making a good YouTube channel for people here. But I wanted to kind of talk today about some of the topics going on with gaming, especially we have this huge Xbox conference coming tomorrow. So I'm going to be talking about a couple things. I'm going to talk about the thoughts on Xbox Live going free. I'm going to talk about the Sony show that they had already had. So that way we can have a comparison of what to maybe expect from Xbox's show tomorrow. Maybe talk a little bit about more reasonable expectations for this show tomorrow because I kind of had my hopes on the other video. I don't know if you saw it, but my hopes are kind of high, and I'm pretty excited. So, but I wanted to kind of maybe temper my own expectations a little bit. So check out that other video, and let's compare, what my hopes are, and then maybe what my reasonable expectations are in this video. Also, maybe some of these rumors going on right now with some acquisition rumors and rumor about Splinter Cell. And then also this really cool photo that was put up, the box art for Halo Infinite, and some of the things we saw on that. So that has me super pumped. But all right, so let's get started here. Well, first, before we get started, if you could, please like and subscribe to this channel. It would help me out a lot getting started with this, so I appreciate that. So first here, I want to talk about my thoughts on Xbox Live potentially going free. So that's a rumor that's been going around now, and it's a rumor that makes a lot of sense. I think they will do it because it's the time to do it. Jumping into the next gen, I think it would have been too hard to do with the previous generation. They didn't have a lot going for it. They didn't have a lot of things to get the average consumer excited. So, having another restriction in there on people jumping into the brand doesn't make a lot of sense. It is give them a lot of money with revenue and everything. So they would be cutting that out. But I think on the upside, they would be gaining more with the amount of people that they might attract to their brand. With Game Pass Ultimate, the Games with Gold program is kind of obsolete. If you're a diehard Xbox gamer and you don't have Game Pass, it's you're missing the boat there. It's just such a good value. You have all these games, just tons of games. Every first party game comes out day one. Even if you only play 2 games that are new, for a year, that's about the same cost roughly as Game Pass for a year. And the Game Pass Ultimate, you also get access to the PC games. And you're also going to get Xcloud now. So they're bringing the Project Xcloud, which is a streaming service where you're going to have it on the mobile devices. So you can play on your phone or your tablet. And, they're taking handcuffs off of people. They're saying, hey, let's make gaming more for everybody, right? So let's say I can't afford an Xbox, right? I can subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate and get access to all the Game Pass games on my PC. I can play Halo Infinite day one without even owning an Xbox or a PC. All I got to do is have a controller and a tablet or a phone. You can get a controller used on the internet, Bluetooth controller. It's the restrictions of gaming are going away, to where it's more for everybody, and I love that. The amount of people that are going to get to play these games that haven't before is staggering. If you really think about it, how many people have a phone and are used to mobile gaming? How many kids are used to mobile gaming and play on their iPad? I finally got my daughter this past year to play the Xbox quite a bit. I've been trying to get her to play Xbox, but she always loved playing on the iPad. She played Roblox and Minecraft on the iPad, and all these other little stupid games that they have on there. But now she's playing Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox on her Xbox. I'm kind of letting her play some other things too, some more mature games occasionally, just because I think she's mature enough to handle it. But I think that having that Game Pass makes it to where these kids have another avenue of something to play. Like, if let's say I have an iPad and I have the option, okay, and sign up for this Apple gaming service, right? It has some cool games, right? Or I can sign up for Game Pass Ultimate. There's no comparison. You can't even compare it to Stadia. Stadia is like a joke compared to what Game Pass has. So, no better value in gaming, period. Now, why have a Xbox Live Gold paywall restriction to get people over to buy to start playing online games? If the Game Pass Ultimate is a service that you're pushing, Xbox Live Gold already comes with Game Pass Ultimate. So really the only benefit of Xbox Live Gold in of itself would be the games with gold, right? Which I loved games with gold. I have so many games because of games with gold, but it doesn't make any sense to have games with gold if you have Game Pass. So, paying a little bit of extra money to get the Game Pass Ultimate over Xbox Live Gold, it's a no-brainer, right? If they make online multiplayer free for everybody, whether you have Game Pass or not, then it's just going to give people the one option. Okay, so I can go into Xbox, I can play online multiplayer free or whatever, and then there's this other service I can get, and it makes sense. And maybe you get a free trial for it, and then you're hooked, right? But it's kind of weird to ask, okay, well, there's this middle service, right? There's this Xbox Live Gold service that you can get, and you get a couple free games, which is a little bit cheaper than just getting Game Pass Ultimate. But, just have free multiplayer for everybody. Get people hooked into the games, more people into the ecosystem, and then offer Game Pass Ultimate. And then you're also going to have cross-play. You're going to have so many more people playing games on Xbox brand than they ever have before because of Xcloud. I'm really excited about what they have going with that. And I think, getting rid of the Xbox Live Gold multiplayer paywall is the right move. And I hope they do it. I think they're going to do it because jumping into a next gen is when you would do something like that. It just makes sense because you have a new device that's going to be exciting for people to go and purchase. So let's see if that happens. I think it's gonna. So also we have this Xbox show coming up, and it's coming tomorrow. I'm excited. Everybody's really excited that I'm talking to on Twitter and everything. And I wanted to kind of go back and talk about Sony's show because I've seen some people say, "Oh, well, Sony didn't really have a good show and everything," and they did. Sony had some really good games. They showed that they're going to do a lot of what they did this past generation. They have amazing development studios, and they've proven it. They have the guys making this Spider Insomniac. I think they acquired them actually as a Sony studio. I can't remember, so I may be wrong on that. But they got developers for Spider-Man. They got the God of War. They got Naughty Dog, who makes Last of Us and Uncharted, and they got just all these developers that make these really great games. And I think that's going to keep happening. There's no reason to think it's not. They've shown time and time again that they have great exclusives, and I think their show kind of showcased that, hey, we're still going to be doing this, and they could hold stuff back and people are still going to trust that they're going to have a great lineup of games. You know, they don't necessarily have to show everything that they got because they already have that consumer trust. Xbox doesn't have that right now with games. I think it's going to change. I think it's coming, and I think tomorrow's the day that they're going to say, hey, you know, look at what we can do now. You know, we got all these studios. But, you know, Sony's proven it, right? And, you know, they had, you know, they showed the Demon Souls, and they showed the Ratchet game, you know, and they showed the Spider-Man game that's on PS5. I think that should be coming to PS4 too. There's no reason to restrict it just to PS5, especially with Spider-Man. You know, like how many kids are fans of Spider-Man, and to restrict that to PS5 is just kind of wrong in my opinion. When you could make it playable on PS4, maybe not as good. You know, maybe missing ray tracing, and you know it can't run at 60 frames per second like it will on PS5. But you know, it's not a huge game. It's a 5 to 10 hour game supposedly. So why not just tone it down a little bit and make a PS4 version? It just makes sense to me. I hate when companies make decisions like that are just purely for business reasons and don't have the consumer in mind, because you know the fans are the people that, you know, make them be able to have a platform in the first place. So to restrict something like Spider-Man from millions of gamers, it's not okay to me, but that's just my opinion. You know, I know that I believe in generational things and stuff. Like, hey, we're going to make this game that can only be ran on PS5 and stuff. But I think Spider-Man isn't that game. Let's just be honest. You know, they just had Spider-Man on PS4. It's using the same engine. You know, why not make it? Just take some features out and make a PS4 version. I hope they do. Maybe they'll listen to people and they announce that later. But as of right now, it's supposed to be just a PS5 game. So anyway, besides that, I thought that it just had a crap ton of games, and it's enough for me to say, yeah, I'm all in on that too. You know, I have PS4 Pro. I love it. I play the exclusives. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima right now. My wife actually wanted to see me play that game because she saw the trailers, thought it looked really cool. So, yeah, I think that they had a strong showing. You know, people were right to be excited. Now, what I don't agree with is people who think that Microsoft isn't going to have a good showing and Microsoft isn't going to have games. You know, you don't have to say one sucks just because you think one is good, right? They can both be good, right? You know, if you go into like all the technical details and everything with the RDNA stuff, your 1 versus 2 and all these kind of things, and you know, I think that honestly, it only matters for the multi-platform games. For me personally, I'm going to play all my multi-platform games on the Xbox because I think it's going to be the better hardware. And for the extra features that PlayStation may have that Xbox doesn't have, those are only going to be on the PlayStation exclusives. And the same on Xbox. The extra features that the Xbox has that the PlayStation doesn't have, like the RDNA features, are maybe going to show up on some of the multiplats. So I'm going to be there for the multiplats and also for the Xbox exclusives. So I think Xbox is going to have a stronger console this generation than PlayStation 5. But that doesn't mean that the PlayStation 5 exclusives aren't going to be amazing. We already know they're going to be amazing. So it's not a knock against Sony and their PlayStation. But if you look at the specs and that the multi-platform games might perform better on Xbox, I think that it's a reason to be excited. Now, if Xbox wasn't bringing the exclusives, then it wouldn't matter, right? It would be like this last generation. Ever since the One X, multiplats have been playing better on the Xbox, right? It's mainly going to be the exclusives that people are going to remember and talk about, okay? So I think this show for Xbox is huge. This is the show where they say, we are going to have those exclusives this generation. We screwed up last generation. We have learned our lesson. We are going to give you games. We're going to give you more games. And then we're going to give you more games on top of that. They've spent a lot of money on acquiring studios. They don't have that plan of spending all these money on these studios if they don't plan on capitalizing on their investment. Why would I spend billions of dollars if I don't plan on making a return on that investment? That's what business is. If I do a marketing campaign for my business, I'm hoping to see a return on that investment. If I am purchasing a company to be a part of my business, I'm hoping that increases my business. They have to put out games. Otherwise, they're throwing money away. Yeah, I know they've done that before. They've thrown money away quite a bit because it's Microsoft and they have a lot of money. But I think they're serious here. I think we're going to see games. I think we're going to see amazing games. So what are some reasonable expectations, though, for this show coming up here? I think, obviously, we're going to see Halo Infinite. I think we're going to see Fable. That's a reasonable expectation because everybody that is an insider in the industry says it's real. They've been working on it for years, and it's ready to show. So let's see it. I think it's a reasonable expectation. I think that we're going to see Halo Infinite. I think we're going to see Fable. It's a new console launch. I think we're going to see Forza. You always launch a console with a racing game, at least on the launch horizon. You know, it doesn't have to be at day one, but within a few months, you know, maybe even as late as spring 2021, there should be a Forza game on there. And I think we're going to see Forza 8. And I think it's going to be different. I think they're going to kind of go reboot it a little bit. You know, maybe change the career mode. You know, I personally, I hate when games like Forza, you give me 10 supercars at the beginning of the game. I know a lot of people want to see that, so maybe it's just my personal taste. But I want a sense of like having to earn those things and having, you know, a sense of, you know, caring about the car that I'm racing. And maybe, you know, I think the first Gran Turismo, in my opinion, did it the best. Like, they started you off with this piece of crap car that you had to spend your money on. You had to fix it up or get oil changes and all this stuff. And once you start putting modifications, upgrades into it, you couldn't actually upgrade or buy a new car for a while in that game. So I remember when I actually had to go, it was time to move on from my car, my first car. It was like, I don't really want to, but I need to. But I love this car. You know, I want to have a car in these racing games that I kind of grow an attachment to, you know. But that's just personal taste, I guess, you know. But we'll see what they have to show for Forza. I'm excited. I hope it's smooth as butter, runs at 120 frames per second, 4K, HDR, beautiful, stunning environments with, you know, weather changing and seasons. And, you know, I think it could be a showstopper in the visual department. You know, racing games are a ton of fun, especially on new consoles, you know, because they always show off, hey, this is what we can do now. You know, let's show off the hardware. So I think we'll see Forza. I think a reasonable expectation is to see Everwild. They already showed a reveal trailer for that. And the question everybody's had ever since they've shown that game is, what the hell is it? You know, we see weird looking animals running around and eating grass and people looking at them and stuff, but we don't know what to do in that game. So is it a games of service game? You know, is it a multiplayer style? Is it a single player? I don't really know what it is. I think it's multiplayer because they showed like multiple characters on the screen, you know, and stuff like that. I think they've given us some hints. but I kind of want to know what it is. Maybe show some gameplay of that, or show a trailer. With maybe like little cuts of gameplay. Let's kind of just see more of what that game is going to be, and I think that's a reasonable expectation. I'm pretty sure we're going to see The Medium there. The Medium is that horror game from that studio that's made other horror games for the Xbox. I think they made Blair Witch. There's been rumors about Microsoft being interested in acquiring them, and I think from the stuff I've seen that they've put on Twitter and from their interviews, I think they're kind of going all in on this next gen technology. I think it's Bloober Team, the development studio. I think they're going all in on this next gen technology here. I think they want to say this is going to be our tentpole classic game. I think that's what they're going for, that studio. So we'll see how good it looks. I think they think it's going to look amazing. So we'll see if it lives up to their expectations on what people's fans' reaction is. I think it could look really good because the trailer was pretty impressive, and if that was running with in-engine stuff, I think it has a lot of potential. So I think we're gonna see like some kind of ID at Xbox sizzle reel, maybe a couple of cool games, and maybe at the end of that sizzle reel, they're gonna have Battletoads on Game Pass now. I think that's a reasonable expectation. I know that Battletoads should be about to release by now. There was the listing, I think, for some storefront somewhere, or no, I think it was rated by Brazil for gave it a rating. So I think it's close to coming out. So we'll see if that drops right after the show. It might be one of those shadow drop moments. Hey, and play Battletoads now. We'll see if that game's any good. ID at Xbox could have some really cool looking stuff, and I think some of those ID at Xbox games, they're smaller games that aren't going to take a lot of power. I think we might see a lot of those potentially run at 120 frames per second, at least 4K 60. So it could be a cool little showcase. I think we're going to see Gears Tactics move from PC to Xbox, and given a date for that. I think we might see Flight Simulator be given a date. Maybe it could be a launch game for the Series X. It could be pretty cool. The game looks gorgeous, so I want to play it on my big screen and stuff. See how that looks. So I think that's reasonable expectations to have. I'm probably missing some things here. I'm just kind of shooting off the cuff, but things that I think we also need to see is Compulsion's new game, the Initiative's new game, In Exile's new game, Obsidian's new game, at least a sneak peek of them. To tell us, hey, they are working on something and this is what it is, right? Show us a name, a little trailer, just like a little 5-second glimpse, something cool, just to kind of give us an idea on what it is. If it's an existing IP, like let's say the Initiative's working on Perfect Dark, just show Perfect Dark on the screen and put Joanna Dark on there. That could be really cool. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that we want to see that from them, because that's, even though Sony doesn't show all of their cards on what they got, I think Xbox is more likely to need to prove to gamers that they don't just have these exclusives, but they're going to have exclusives for years to come. When I say exclusive, I know they're coming to PC also, but I think the term exclusive more or less nowadays should be used at, it's not coming to PlayStation, or a PlayStation game like Death Stranding, for example, isn't coming to Xbox. A lot of games are coming to PC now. You're going to be able to play all these games on mobile devices anyway with Xcloud. the whole term exclusive needs to be used in a different way, or just do away with it altogether, right? If I say exclusive, what I mean personally is like Halo Infinite isn't going to be playable on PlayStation 5. Same with, Death Stranding or Horizon Zero Dawn not be able to be played on Xbox. Okay, technically those two games aren't exclusives anymore either, right? So if you want to be technical, be technical. Other than that, that's what I mean when I say exclusive. Okay, not on the other competing console. Okay. So a couple rumors also, I want to talk about. If y'all want to leave in the comments too, you could say, hey, this is what I expect to see, or this is what I want to see at the show. I have a lot of excitement about it. But a couple rumors that have been going around is the WB acquisition. So I think that's man, that would be cool. There's been some stuff going on the Twitter channels for Xbox promoting this WB sale right now, and the kind of the wording has kind of made everybody chuckle a little bit with WB publisher sale. It's fun to see. I personally don't think it would happen like this quickly. The rumor was recently that Microsoft was interested, and they're at least talking to them about it, along with other companies. For me personally, I think it makes most sense for Microsoft, and I think it would be better for most consumers if it was Microsoft. I don't think anybody wants to see EA get them. I don't think anybody wants to see 2K get them. 2K is not even doing like the smart delivery type program. They're making people pay more to get 2K21 on both consoles. And also, they're charging more for next-gen games. They're the only one confirmed to be doing that, at least at this point. So as far as consumer-friendly approach, Xbox makes the most sense. Plus, they have the Xcloud and they have Game Pass, so they would have a lot more content to push out to people. That would make automatically the service even a better value, and I think some of those, like Mortal Kombat, I think they would probably still release it on PlayStation. They do that with Minecraft. They didn't stop putting Minecraft on other platforms when they made that purchase. It makes more sense for them business-wise to sell those games on all platforms, right? Now, it doesn't make sense for every game like that, but if you already have an installed fan base on every platform that goes back, over 20 years now for like Mortal Kombat, it doesn't make any sense to restrict that to just one brand. I think if Microsoft were to purchase WB Games, it would be good for everybody as opposed to somebody else getting them. So if they are selling them, let it be Microsoft. That's my take. But we'll see. I think it's a possibility because they have the money to do it. And they may not want to see those studios go to one of those other publishers. They may want to say, hey, if somebody's going to buy them, it needs to be us. So, and I'm not talking about even just EA or Take-Two. It could be Amazon. It could be Google. Those are Microsoft's strongest competitors right now because those are the ones competing for the cloud service market and the streaming market more than the other competition. So that's the future. The same as when Halo 1 kind of kicked off that, hey, first-person shooters can really be done great on console, and Halo 2, kicked off Xbox Live and kicked off that console online multiplayer. Halo Infinite is going to do the same thing for streaming games. It's going to give people the first game that they are going to find a reason to go pay for a streaming subscription, and that's going to be Game Pass Ultimate. And people are going to love it, and they're going to get hooked on it, and we're going to be back to the way it felt in the Halo 2 days, when everybody was playing Halo. At least that's what I hope. So So another rumor was Splinter Cell could be coming. You know, I had my high hopes at the Ubisoft Forward conference that they had, and again, Splinter Cell was a no-show. And then after the show, there was a guy, an Italian voice actor, was interviewed, and he said it's definitely coming. He knows it's coming. He was really concrete on that. So, you know, wouldn't it be amazing? This is my pipe dream. If Microsoft got with Ubisoft and said, hey, you know, Splinter Cell used to be kind of an Xbox brand. Let's make this thing happen. You know, let's get Splinter Cell back. And Phil and Guillermo get together and they say, yeah, let's do it. And during this Xbox conference, we see the trailer come up and you see the 3 green lights. And then you hear Michael Ironside's voice. That would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. But at least we know that there is going to be a Splinter Cell. According to the Italian voice actor. We just don't know when. It's going to happen at some point. They can't just let that brand die. It's too good. It's just too good. You know? Stop giving us Sam Fisher mobile game character. Stop throwing them in as a special DLC or special limited time event on a game, another Clancy brand game. Just give us a freaking Splinter Cell game. It's been too long. 7 years. 7 years. No Splinter Cell. So I think we're gonna see it, but I don't know if we're gonna see it now. But I'm hoping so. So anyway, yeah. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on some of this stuff that I've been talking about. Wow, it's been going on 30 minutes on this video now. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you like the way I did this, let me know. I'll kind of do it some more of the same next time. Or if you hate it, let me know. And then I'll try and change it up. But I plan to kind of keep this going. I want to try and develop something here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And thank you. You have a good one. Bye. Holy crap, guys. I completely forgot to talk about that Halo Infinite box art that we just saw on Twitter. Yeah, if that doesn't get you pumped for Halo, I don't know what else will. I mean, he's got a grappling hook on his arm, so there was some rumors that had come out about some gameplay elements with it being like pretty much open world and stuff like that. So, you know, this can be pretty exciting, you know, if we have this rumors that was talked about before coming true, you know, because he did say there was going to be a grappling hook, you know. So I think this has got a lot of people excited. Just the way it looks, the art is the best thing that I think most Halo fans would agree they've seen since Halo 3. And they're just nailing it right now. So we'll see what the rest of the game looks like tomorrow. I can't wait to see it. Love Halo, and we're gonna get a lot of it tomorrow. So I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited. And that's it, guys. So again, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll try and keep getting up content, and we'll see where this goes. Thanks. Bye.